Connect navigational tutorial, where I will demonstrate the navigation of the program as well as explain the various activities you'll find in Connect and the parameters associated with those activities. As you can see here, the work is grouped into weekly folders that correlate with the organization of the work in Blackboard. So let's open week 1 and take a look at the different types of activities you'll be completing. In week 1, you have 2 LearnSmart activities, one for each of the chapters you'll be reading, designated by this icon, an assignment, and a quiz. Weeks 2 and 3 will follow the same format. Week 4 will consist of 2 LearnSmart SmartBook activities, an assignment, but instead of the quiz, you will have a final exam that includes content covered throughout the entire course. Of course, before completing any of the activities in any given week, you want to make sure that you're completing the reading assignment first. So let's look first at the LearnSmart SmartBook activities designated by chapter. LearnSmart SmartBook activities are an adaptive learning experience in which the system identifies your areas of mastery and your areas of weakness based on the answers you've selected during the activity in an attempt to bridge any knowledge gaps. If you answer a question incorrectly, it is a good idea to write it down because it's most likely you'll see it again and need to answer it correctly in order to complete the activity. So to get started, we will click on this blue arrow, which will open up a dialog box with some details. When you're ready, you can click Begin and select to get started. If you have access to the ebook, you can utilize the continued reading button. There's some information here about the particular activity. Of course, your due date will change based on the date that you're taking the course. The time frame is an estimation, so some of you may finish this much quicker. Some of you might need extra time, but you can go ahead and click to continue to your questions. To answer the questions, you'll need to select your answer, and then you'll need to rate your confidence. So maybe let's say I'm only medium in my confidence, but the system will tell me if I answered it correctly. If I answer it incorrectly, the system will notify you as well as give you the correct answer so that you can write that down. The LearnSmart activities are based on completion. So as soon as you reach the completion screen, you will receive 100% regardless of how many times you might have had to reattempt any given question. There is a progress tracker in the upper left-hand corner so that you can see how far you've progressed in the activity. To leave the activity before completion, you just select this exit assignment. The system does ask you if you are sure you want to exit, and it does tell you that you can pick up where you left off. Now for the assignments, we enter those the same way by selecting the blue arrow. For the assignments, you will have unlimited attempts throughout the week. You can access these the same way, of course, as the LearnSmart activities. Click on Begin when you're ready. You do have unlimited attempts throughout the week. Once you've submitted the assignment, you will receive an immediate overall grade. However, the detailed feedback won't be released until after the deadline. The reason for this is to give you the opportunity to retake the assignment if your score isn't what you were hoping for. This is why the detailed feedback with the correct answers is withheld until after the deadline. So to begin, you just go ahead and click Continue. Sometimes the pages will take a little bit to load and you can move through and complete the activities as indicated. When you're done, you can click the Submit button. If I want to exit, I can simply save and exit. The quiz will work the same way. However, please note that the quiz is timed, and once you open it, you have to submit. You cannot open the quiz, look at it, close out, and then go back in later. Once you select this Begin button, you have launched your one and only attempt for that quiz. The same is true for the final exam. So that's a quick look at the required components. I'm going to close out again and wanted to show you one more optional activity. Now there's a folder with some optional application-based activities. This is for practice only. It's not graded work. It's certainly not required, but it does provide you with a walkthrough of some simulated activities. So I'm going to show you those real quick. If it's something you're interested in, you can kind of follow along. It takes a moment for the system to load. Initially, when you log in, it's going to make you set up your avatar, and it gives you a scenario. In this scenario, we're working the front desk, and we have someone who's finishing up from working overnight. So essentially, you follow your little avatar around the office, and there's a baby crying in this one, or a child crying. So you get to follow your avatar around the office, and you get to make selections based on the various scenarios. So there are a lot of interesting scenarios that I think are pretty helpful and you might find fun, but I'll just show you really quickly how you can engage. So I have to determine whether I'm going to select the patient first or the phone first. And then in the mini game, you basically have to select an answer. May I place you on a brief hold? So good morning, Battelle Medical Associates. This is student speaking. May I place you on a brief hold? And submit. And it tells me that this is correct, that I should in fact have answered the phone before helping my patient. Then I can click on the patient to get her information. And I would say, good morning, how may I help you? And then the system will tell me if it's correct and so on and so forth. And then you click continue to get the patient's portion of the dialogue. And at any point you can close out. So again, I wanted to reiterate that these are not graded application activities. They're simply for practice, and you will have access to these ongoing after the course is ended. So if it's something you want to continue practicing after the class, you can certainly do that as well. So that's a quick look at the navigation of Connect. If you have any other questions, please contact your instructor. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you thoroughly enjoy the class.